Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Tonight, Pullman police are investigating reports of a man who tried to force himself into the apartment of a young woman he doesn't know. The victim posted her story on Facebook and it is getting a lot of attention tonight. So much attention, in fact, that Pullman PD addressed it on its own Facebook page.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley went to Pullman today to learn more about what happened. She is joining us live from the Pullman Police Department. Amanda, what have you learned so far?
I confirmed this afternoon Pullman police are investigating an attempted abduction of a PhD international student at Washington State University. Now, that student is okay, but police are still searching for the suspect. Meantime, students who live near where this incident happened are feeling uneasy tonight.
Recent events on the Palouse over the last few months have understandably put the Pullman community on edge. And now there's even more concern after someone tried to force their way into a WSU student's apartment Friday night.
Oh my gosh, that's scary because it's like right here where I'm living at.
Selena Salou lives a few doors down from where the incident happened. She learned about the attempted abduction in a group chat.
Just to even walk out, to go to your car, just like throw the trash away, it's like scary because it's like you're like now it's like you have to look where you're going and watching like who's like out and stuff because it's like you can't really trust anyone now.
The rest of the community learned about what happened after the victim posted about it online. According to that post, after walking home Friday night, the PhD student noticed a black car parked outside her apartment. She says it was running and the trunk was left open. She got inside the apartment, but when she went to close the door, a man grabbed the door handle and tried forcing himself inside. The post says she had to use her full body weight to close and lock the door. She reported this to police shortly after, and then, out of fear, she left Pullman as soon as she could.
We need the community's help.
Commander Aaron Brashears says officers arrived on scene within minutes and made extra patrols that night, but they did not find the man or the black car. He says the man is described as approximately 5'5" and was seen wearing a green sweatshirt. Police are also searching for a black sedan, possibly a Nissan Altima with faded black paint and no license plates. Right now, officers are investigating all possible leads, talking to neighbors, and asking the community to share any information that may be helpful to the investigation.
If there is a logical explanation for the circumstances, I would ask that the person responsible give us a call and explain if there is a logical explanation.
It's scary to just think about because it's like I can't even like walk out without like being like paranoid, like who's watching me and stuff, or like what if this happens to me.
In the meantime, Selena plans to be extra cautious and keep her head on a swivel.
Now, today I spoke with that PhD student who reported this incident. She tells me she is glad she's okay and feeling very lucky. In the meantime, just a few hours ago, Pullman police posted on Facebook they are also investigating reports of a suspicious male who's been seen looking into homes on College Hill. Now, to be clear, police say they do not believe this is related to that attempted abduction incident, but we'll keep tracking this story as it develops. Reporting in Pullman, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. Also tonight, we continue to follow the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. We are diving into the suspect's background, the one who's accused of killing them.
Investigator Chris Ingalls traveled to Pennsylvania where the suspect spent most of his life. And here's a preview of that story that we'll share tonight on KREM 2 News at 6.
It's just a very quiet community.
These are the streets an accused killer once roamed as a teenager.
I've definitely seen it on TV. Who hasn't?
Now, Lynn Klein and others in the Pennsylvania communities where Brian Koberger lived until last year want to know if he could have committed any crimes before he was charged with the murders at the University of Idaho.
Because anybody or any family that's been harmed or done wrong to deserves to know the truth.
It isn't just citizens. Police and prosecutors have asked the same question.
Your natural reaction is to start wondering, okay, is this guy wanted? Is his name out there? Did he do anything here in Northampton County?
And again, you can watch that full story coming up on KREM 2 News at 6 tonight. In other news tonight, a Coeur d'Alene mother and son are homeless after a car drove through their house. That car came crashing through the same room that Michaela Goolsby and her son were sleeping in.
KREM 2's Janelle Finch spoke with that mother who describes it as the worst night of her life.
For 3 years, Michaela Goolsby and her son shared laughs and made memories in their Coeur d'Alene home. But in one moment, years of memories were gone.
Nobody goes to bed thinking that their whole life is going to get destroyed.
A car had driven through their home and into the same room where Goolsby and her 6-year-old son were sleeping.
This corner, that's where he was asleep, in the corner. So he was right there underneath everything. So seeing it now and seeing it in the light is just, it's just so horrifying.
Goolsby says in the first few moments following the impact, she scrambled to find her son.
I just started digging into the rubble and the sheetrock, and I was just trying to grab any part that was him.
When he wouldn't respond to her screams, she panicked.
And then the horrible realization that I might not be pulling him out in one piece. And so luckily I finally found him, and he started crying and he said, "Mama." And he had been holding a shelf that was up in the corner, and the shelf was against his body, and I think that's what kept a lot of the debris from actually impaling him.
Goolsby, her son, and the driver all walked away from the scene. But even though Goolsby and her son aren't hurt, they still feel the pain of losing everything.
We cannot live here. Most of our items are beyond repair, so we're trying to find housing. We're trying to get my son counseling and some medical support, and just rebuilding.
Since the accident, Goolsby and her son have been staying with friends. She says she's thankful for the support of her neighbors.
But the last couple days has just been really leaning on people who can help us in the community.
Goolsby's friends have raised over $1,500 through GoFundMe for the family. While the money won't change the trauma she feels,
that was the worst night of my life.
She says it will help her and her son get through next steps so they can smile again and make new memories. Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
In other top stories tonight, Spokane's downtown Central Library branch is back open after it was evacuated last night because of a man who claimed he had a gun. Spokane police responded to calls of a man threatening people at the library, again claiming that he had that gun. But once officers arrived, they learned he did not actually have a weapon and was in the middle of a mental health crisis. That man was taken into custody. No one was hurt.
A $3 billion gold deposit was discovered in the town of Republic, Washington, and the company that discovered it says it contains 2 million ounces of gold. Each ounce is worth about $1,500 right now. Ferry County actually has a long history of gold mining, but their last mine closed in 2017.
Last night, President Joe Biden delivered a State of the Union address where he presented some of his administration's accomplishments. And afterwards, Republican Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders delivered the response.
2 years ago, the economy was reeling. I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs.
The Biden administration seems more interested in woke fantasies than the hard reality Americans face every day.
President Biden began his address highlighting the economic progress the country has seen since he has taken office. He also touched on other priorities, including police reform and foreign policy. When the president said some Republicans want to cut Social Security and Medicare, he heard pushback from the GOP side of the room. This was President Biden's first address to a divided Congress after Republicans took control of the House. Following the speech, in the Republican response, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders asserted the White House is focused on a left-wing culture war. All right, we want to send it over to Jeremy Legoo with a quick look at the forecast. Jeremy?
Well, today was quite beautiful across much of the inland Northwest. Sunshine dominated, and well, the sun actually just went down, and as it does so, still got some breaks in the clouds and temperatures staying on the mild side. Over in Coeur d'Alene, had to hit the magic button. Temperatures sit in the mid-30s, 35, so they are dropping quick. 38 in Spokane, 41 in Ritzville, and 51 in Othello. Basically what happens is, with a lack of cloud cover and some calmer wind, all of that heat's going to escape rather quickly. It is likely we fall back down below freezing quite quickly this evening, but right now, it's nice. Get out and enjoy it. Tomorrow, we'll wake up to a little more sunshine. That should help us warm up, but by tomorrow afternoon, a little cloud cover filters in, and that precedes our next round of possible moisture. That's a little bit of a short wave moving through early Friday. Notice the rain, not overly widespread. Isolated sprinkles is the name of the game Friday, and so I'm just going to go ahead and call it mostly cloudy. I think we do wind up seeing a little bit of sunshine each day, a little bit, but hey, with a little bit of sun and temps in the 40s, it feels a lot more like March than it does February, and the name of this game is to enjoy it while you can because colder weather is on the horizon.
All right, Jeremy, will do. Thank you. Coeur d'Alene City Council members say they need more time to consider plans for a large development which would build thousands of new homes, 2 new schools, and a lot of businesses. It's called Coeur and has been a point of contention among neighbors and city leaders. A lot of emotions at last night's City Council meeting about the impacts this development could have on the community. Dozens of people were in attendance voicing their concerns, and ultimately hearing from those residents played a role in council members then asking developers to come back on February 21st. They're asking the developers to use the next few weeks to address some of the worries that came up, and that includes speaking with neighbors and city planners.
I have been kind of heartbroken as I've been talking with some of my neighbors and heard them say that they're glad that they're pretty sure they're going to be dead before they experience most of the fallout that they expect from this decision.
It will erase the Indian Meadows neighborhood. If you vote for the annexation, you're voting against Coeur d'Alene citizens you swore to serve.
This needs to be something that's very thoughtful, well thought out. The roads, the traffic, because we live there.
Developers believe this new project would bring more than 900 new jobs to the area and generate an estimated $4.5 million in sales and property tax revenue for the city.